Okay, let's do a little review on Counterpoint. Now, if you got through the last couple classes and you were like, "Oh, I'm so glad to be done with Counterpoint because this Counterpoint is just killing me," I got bad news for you. Counterpoint does not go away. However, um, memorizing of a bunch of rules kind of does. What we're going to be focusing on going forward is using Counterpoint, and I think you'll find, and at least this is true for me, and I think it's true for a lot of people, that going forward, kind of what we're going to find about Counterpoint is that we don't need to focus on like memorizing rules a ton, because from here on out, we're using those rules, and the result of using those rules is something that sounds good. So, what we're going to be focusing on doing is making stuff that sounds good. And if it sounds good, it's probably using the rules correctly. A lot of the time, you'll hear something funny and you'll be like, oh, that's probably because I did something weird with the counterpoint. Counterpoint should start to be in your ear, as they say now, meaning like you can almost start to recognize things that are going wrong in a counterpoint and things that are going right. So, super quick review of counterpoint. We talked about the 4 and kind of 5 different species of counterpoint. The first species means we have 2 lines, which we always do in counterpoint. We have the cantus firmus line, or the CF. That's the one that is given to you. It's going to be all whole notes, and you cannot change it. And then you have the counterpoint. That's the one you're writing. So against the cantus firmus, first species counterpoint, the biggest difference, or the biggest thing that separates it from the other species, is that it's a 1-to-1 relationship. For every note in the cantus firmus, we write 1 note in the counterpoint, which means it's going to be all whole notes pretty much. Second species counterpoint, it's a 2-to-1 relationship. So we're going to write 2 notes for every note in the cantus firmus. So that means if our cantus firmus is all whole notes, our counterpoint is going to be all half notes. In third species counterpoint, we have 4-to-1, not 3-to-1, 4-to-1, which means if our cantus firmus is all whole notes, our counterpoint is going to be all quarter notes, right? Now, in fourth species counterpoint, what we have is half notes with suspensions. So if the cantus firmus is all whole notes, the fourth species counterpoint line would be primarily half notes but tied across bar lines so that we get all of these suspensions. That's kind of the big thing about fourth species. And then we also have this fifth species of counterpoint, which is sometimes called free counterpoint, in which we can kind of mix and match. We can do different rhythms here and there. That's kind of the main thing to keep in mind as we go forward. If later, as we start talking about SATB stuff or chorale textures, we might find it's useful to do a kind of quick review on some of the specific counterpoint rules, but let's leave that for when it comes up in context so that I'm not just throwing more rules at you. If you're still dicey on some of the rules of counterpoint, you can kind of relax a little bit. You should know them if you're really going to go forward. So if you want to get deeper into that, go back and review those last couple classes in which we focus strictly on counterpoint. But we'll do more review as it comes up in context while we're using this stuff. So that being said, let's dive in.